Shohei Ohtani, a guy so incredible at baseball that he has totally mastered every aspect of the sport within both pitching and hitting. Want a 100-mile-per-hour fastball? He's got that. And then he can follow it up with a really nasty slider. He can steal 50 bases while hitting 50 home runs. He's an absolute unicorn in the sport and is a complete treat for fans to watch night in and night out. So why should he give up one of the things that makes him so great? Well, it might lead to his demise. Let's first talk about the kind of pitcher Ohtani is. As I already mentioned, he's a flamethrower, a guy that has truly bought into the modern style of pitching, with velocity being at the forefront. This produces incredible results from the hill. He has a career ERA of 3.01, which is lower than Max Scherzer's, Nolan Ryan's, and even Randy Johnson's ERA. Different eras, I know, but still. He strikes batters out at a clip of 11.4 per 9 innings and has a career ERA plus of 141, which means he's 41% better than the average pitcher at run prevention. His 2022 season was even crazier than that, putting up 6.2 WAR from the mound alone and striking out 219 batters, while finishing 4th in the Cy Young vote. God, why wouldn't the Dodgers want a guy like this taking the mound every 5 days? He's quite literally one of the best arms in baseball. Well, throwing hard comes with a lot more than results. It also comes with a solid chance of injury. Across the league, there has been an uptick in Tommy John surgeries, and Ohtani himself has already had 2. Okay, well, he had one in 2020, and the second one he got was under the umbrella of Tommy John, but wasn't technically the same. But no matter how you slice it, having 2 elbow surgeries is bad and opens him up to a much higher risk of needing another one in the future. I've already gone into great depth on this topic on this channel already, so if you want to know more about the details of pitching injuries, make sure to watch that video after this one. But moving on, obviously Ohtani shouldn't put himself in a position to injure himself, but there's more to this than that. He's just a generationally incredible hitter. Let's just marvel at his StatCast report for last season. I mean, what? Literally 99th or 100th percentile in just so many categories across the board. He does whiff quite a bit and he strikes out a lot, but who cares? And speaking of last season, he put up 9.2 WAR as a designated hitter. Far and away the greatest DH season the sport has ever seen. It wasn't even that out of the ordinary in terms of his career. The stolen bases definitely were, with 59 in 2024, completely dwarfing his career 162 game average of 29. But his OPS was just 86 points above his career average at 1,036, and even 30 points lower than his OPS in 2023, which sat at 1,066. And his 54 home runs were just 10 more than his usual pace of 44. While some may have viewed Shohei's monster 2024 campaign as something out of this world, realistically it is something that he can repeat multiple times in coming seasons. And as he's begun this season with a 1,008 OPS already, and in the heat of the league-wide home run race, he's looking pretty sure to have a crazy season once again. He also has a career OPS plus of 158. That's not the only plus stat we've dealt with today. We also talked ERA plus, with Ohtani repping a 141 career ERA plus. This shows us that over the course of his entire major league career, he's added more run value while in the batter's box than run preventing value during his time on the mound. Now that's just across his career. Maybe his peaks on the mound are better. So we have to take his best ERA plus season and his best OPS plus season and pit them against one another. His best ERA plus season was in 2022 with 172, along with 11.9 Ks per 9 and an ERA of 2.33. His best OPS plus season was in 2024 with 189, and we've already covered those stats pretty extensively, so I'll leave them out. So no matter if you want to look at averages or peaks, during his career, he's been better in the batter's box, no doubt. But his statistics don't just pertain to himself, but they pertain to the whole team. What holds the utmost importance is how he fits into the overall dynamic and roster construction of the 2025 Dodgers. So far this season within the Dodgers, he ranks first in OPS plus in batters with 100 plus plate appearances with 183. Since he hasn't pitched this season, we can plug his career ERA plus of 141 into the ranking of the LA rotation, and he would be second, right behind Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is having a career year with a 176 ERA plus so far. Now since there's 9 guys in a batting order and there's 5 guys in a rotation, rotation, we can sort of MacGyver his value by figuring out the overall difference of Ohtani's value versus the value of LA's 10th best hitter, and then do the same with their 6th best starter. Obviously, lineup construction and rotations don't work exactly like this, but it's a great experiment to show off his value added to his team. The Dodgers' 10th best qualified hitter this year is Kike Hernandez with a 94 OPS plus, which means that Ohtani's 185 OPS plus this year is 91 points better than the Dodgers' quote-unquote next batter up. And on their pitching side, the Dodgers' 6th best starter, if Ohtani was in their rotation, is Tony Gonsolin with an ERA plus of 78. And since Ohtani hasn't pitched this year, I have to resort to his career average, which gives us a 63-point difference between Ohtani's ERA plus and the Dodgers' quote-unquote next starter up. He adds 93 more OPS plus to the lineup, and hypothetically would add 63 more ERA plus to the rotation. Let's not forget to mention that the Dodgers have two great starting pitching arms, in Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell currently on the injured list, and are slated to return too, which would skew this even more in favor of the batting side. And really, at the end of the day, if he gets hurt pitching, then none of this matters. Because if he's sidelined with an injury, he really can't add value anywhere. And not all injuries will be convenient enough to rehab while still hitting. Statistically as well, it's a lot more common for pitchers to get hurt than position players / hitters. This season, pitchers take up 65% of league-wide injuries, so in the long run, Ohtani would provide more value alone as a hitter, provide more value to the Dodgers specifically this season as a hitter, and would avoid a great deal of injury risk if he just hit. If Ohtani was just a hitter, what would he do? Well, he's been throwing bullpen sessions recently, which means firstly, he's definitely gonna pitch despite my reasoning, but secondly, it means his arm is good. Which means Ohtani could easily shift into becoming an outfielder for the Dodgers. There's a few good reasons that he'd make a great outfielder for the team. First, there's an opening for him. With Michael Conforto getting the most reps in left field so far this year and rocking a negative 0.6 WAR, they could definitely use an upgrade in that spot. Second, he's got the tools for the part. With a 70th percentile sprint speed, he has the legs to keep up and even excel in a corner outfield position. Now, people may point out his lack of major league experience in the outfield, since he's only got 8.1 innings of outfield experience in his entire MLB career, but in his time playing for the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, he's played 64 games in the outfield. Now, since I couldn't find an innings count for this, we don't know if he was just coming in after a start, but I'd stand to guess he's gotten over 100 innings of outfield action. Imagine that 2024 season where he had 9.2 WAR with him being a primary outfielder. With above average defense over his 159 games played, he could have easily had a 10+ WAR year. But realistically, there's not a chance that they switch him to being a hitter only. One of the main reasons Shohei signed with the Angels in 2018 was that they were one of the teams that agreed to let him experiment and develop his two-way game in the MLB. And I suspect there is a similar clause in his contract now with the Dodgers. But even if there isn't, the Dodgers will definitely want to allow Shohei to continue to do both. See, as just a hitter, he's one of the greatest players of all time, easily in the top 15 hitters ever, and some may even rank him higher. As a two-way player, he's a phenom, a freak that nobody has ever seen before, the likes of which haven't happened since Babe Ruth. You can imagine which one will get more butts and seats. The Dodgers spent $700 million on this guy. Well, not really with deferrals, but you know. But they picked him up not just because he's going to help them win many rings over his career, but also because with him, they can sell fans an experience that they've never seen before. Even with his on-the-field value being more suited to just being a hitter, off the field his value is tripled with him doing both. Now, I'm not trying to disprove myself. Everything I said is still true, and on the field he is better suited to be a positional player, but I'm also just trying to explain why that'll never happen. But anyways, I'm sadly not a part of the Dodgers staff, not yet at least. But that means despite what I've said, he's gonna pitch really soon. So I'll say just enjoy it. This is a truly historic thing we might not see for a while. And I hate to be a downer, but with all the wear and tear his body will get by doing both, and with 2 elbow surgeries already, I can't see him lasting more than 3 full seasons on the hill. But I want him to. So after all is said, let's just enjoy history while we can. That's all I've got for you today though, so thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know down below if you disagree with anything I said, and click the video to your left if you want to see more from me. I'll see you all later.